It is my pleasure to welcome you to another fun class with Mrs. Tessie, your chemistry directress. Welcome to a new trimester. Our topic for the week is Introduction to Chemistry. Chemistry as a subject is not new to you if you are an old pupil, unless you are new. Then if you are new, welcome to our school and to the subject chemistry. You see, oftentimes people think that chemistry is the study of chemicals and bombs and that it should not be taught to children in the elementary classrooms, but it is not true. Chemistry is not just about making bombs and explosives. Chemistry is the simple evaporation experiment that you perform in your classroom or the simple dilution experiment that you perform in your kitchen when you dissolve salt in water, right? So chemistry is simply just science. Chemistry is what? Science. So you don't need to fret, don't be scared that you'll be studying chemistry. It is just a name. Let's focus on what we study in our chemistry classes. So chemistry is the branch of science that studies matter. As simple as that. The branch of science that studies what? Matter. Okay? So when you get home from school and your mom asks you, what is chemistry? I hear you study chemistry in school. You shouldn't be scared. You should proudly tell your mommy, chemistry is a branch of science that studies what? Matter. But what then is matter? And what about matter does it study? It studies the composition and properties of matter. The composition and properties of matter. You see, we are going further, we are diving in. So we can combine both definitions into one. We say chemistry is the science that studies the composition, structure, and properties of matter. So now we have one unified definition of chemistry. Right? So let's go on and see more about chemistry and how chemistry is studied in our classrooms. So chemistry studies how matter reacts with one another. Sorry, some part of this text is cut off. It studies how matter reacts with one another in the environment. Yes. Now, what is matter? We're hearing about matter. What is matter? Matter is not it's not something strange. Sometimes we quarrel with somebody, you see what is the matter, like somebody defined in class, you say, hey Mrs. Tessie, matter is when you ask somebody what is the matter. No, that's actually not true. Matter is the stuff around us, the stuff that we are made of. You see, everything on the universe, on planet Earth is made up of matter, right? So you see, matter is practically and virtually in everything. It is anything that has mass and occupies space. Did you get that? Anything that has mass and occupies space. Now, what is mass? Mass is the amount of substance in an object. So every object has substance inside it. Like, for example, I'm a human being. I have some substance inside me. I have heart, I have my livers and others. So I am matter. Now, let's look at some general examples of matter. Matter in our environment, matter in our homes, in our classrooms. Let's just see some examples of matter. Anything that qualifies as having mass and occupying space can be given as an example of matter. You agree, won't you? So now let's see some examples very quickly. People, trees, computers, air, water, houses, cars, paper, pencils. In fact, everything is made up of matter. Like I said earlier, some persons might say, how is air matter? Yes, it occupies space and it has mass. We performed already simple experiments to demonstrate that in class, but we can do more. Okay, so just hold on a bit while I give you some more examples of matter that have been grouped into solid, liquid, and gas. You see, these are the three states of matter. Right? Now, under solids, we have eyes, chairs, tables, glass, walls. These are things that have definite shape and volume. Then under liquids, we have water, juice. You can see that they flow. All these ones, they flow. Soda, like your Fanta, Coke, milk, saliva. These are examples of liquids. Then under gas, we have smoke, steam, water, vapor, carbon dioxide, and what? Air. Now, examples of matter in this picture. Let us list some examples of matter in this picture. The gas that you breathe in, glasses that is putting on. Him as a person is matter. The butterfly on the computer, the computer itself, the coffee, the desk, the chair, the cat on the table, the plant, cloud outside, the sun. You see, everything in and around us is made of matter, right? You can name some examples of matter wherever you are right now. This now brings us to the properties of matter. Properties of matter. When you hear the word properties, what comes to mind? What exactly is a property of a matter? Is it the properties that you acquire as a human being? My father has a house, has a car. Properties of matter. Now, the characteristics that help us describe and identify matter are the properties of matter. They help us first to describe and then to identify matter. Okay, now these properties are grouped into two. We have physical properties and chemical properties. What is the difference between these two? In a physical property, these can be observed or measured without changing the identity of the substance. For example, this table is blue. It is blue. By identifying the color as blue, the table has not changed in any way. Alright, but in chemical properties, they can be observed or measured as a substance changes in identity. For example, when a paper burns to become ash, it has changed. So some examples of physical properties we have: length, color, density, mass, volume, pressure, electricity. All right, then we have density. Does it sink or does it float? Texture, is it rough or is it smooth? Volume, length, colors, shapes. Is it triangular or is it circular? Mass, temperature, magnetism. All right, states of matter. Is it solid, liquid or gas? Solubility, electrical conductivity, melting point, boiling point, diffusion, and more. We have more here. We have size, we have hardness, we have sound, we have flavor. Just goes on, the list goes on. We have so many physical properties of matter. These ones are observed without changing the identity of matter. A simpler way, more simpler way to identify physical properties of matter are just to take note of those properties that you can observe with your five senses. Sense of seeing, hearing, feeling, touching and smelling. You see, we have five senses. So any property of matter that you can observe using these five different senses fall under the physical properties of matter. I think this is simpler, right? It's easier for you to comprehend this. So we'll go further to learn more about chemical properties of matter. Still, we have examples here of physical and chemical properties. So we have more and more examples in case you're asked to give examples. Flammability or combustibility, toxicity, reactivity, acidity, and the list goes on. We have some more here: oxidation states, heat of combustion, chemical stability, flammability, coordination number, reactivity, possible chemical bonds, enthalpy of formation. Enthalpy means the heat of formation. All right, so we have all these as examples of chemical properties of matter. I think more will come up now on the screen, so you can have a vast list, right? Toxicity, corrosivity, I beg your pardon. Then we've seen heat of combustion, coordination number, chemical bonding, oxidation states, and what have you. In this picture is clearer than the former one, so this is better to go with. This now brings us to our quiz time. I've been talking for the past 9 minutes or so. Let me see how well you understand this class. It's just about the pictures you've been looking at, or you understood or took one or two things into your head. So the first question goes thus: what does chemistry study? You have 3 seconds to answer this. And of course, it studies matter. If you got this correct, kudos, well done. Next question is: what properties of matter is observed with the senses? Do you need to think about this? Yes. Physical properties of matter is the correct answer. Yes. The next question: an example of a chemical property of matter is dash. A, color. B, combustibility. Of course, the answer is dancing right in front of you. Combustibility is the answer. And the next question goes thus: properties of matter is unrelated to the size or volume of the matter. True or false? And of course, the last question for today, the answer is true. So goodbye. I hope that you enjoyed the class. Until our next class next week, it is Mrs. Tessie saying, stay safe. Have a good time.